okay, I want to be the brain behind those scenes who creates those movies.
Wow.
First,
Okay.
I wanted to be an actor, watched Die Hard and those movies about, oh yeah, that's
Oh, so you are the die-hard fan.
Is that I tried different jobs whilst avoiding doing the one thing that I actually wanted to do, make films.
Yeah.
Because I always told myself, and I think it's one of the things that you hear a lot, especially coming from a smaller country, like, because I'm from Bulgaria, and you hear a lot of, well, that's basically impossible. Don't do that. Do something more sensible, So I did lots of jobs in computing. I was...
Yeah, and because I'm from Austria, it's like that's an impossible thing to achieve, making movies. And everything, like they're waiting for Big Macs to show up. Do something else, do something normal.
None of them were exciting, And so teaching is a good profession, and it's one of those where no 2 days are the same. And I in different subjects in my career, but I always wanted to do films. And growing up, much like Max, we used to go to the video rental store all the time, and I would go 3 times a week, 4 times a week to get you get through 2 or 3 cassettes, and you watch them, and then you get another 2 or 3 VHS tapes.
During that time, I was always writing on a sleeve. It was this big martial arts film which I wanted to make as my first feature. So I was working on that for years. And, 1 year passed, another year passed, and I thought, okay, I better do something now to push it forward.
Yeah.
And get the skills needed. And I don't know what it specifically was, but at one point I said, if you want to do this, you better do it now.
I always thought it was kind of this impenetrable thing to get to directing a film. Until I was getting ready for university. This was before university, before I did computer animation. I watched The Matrix, and I was a big fan of The Matrix when it first came out in 1999. But I watched the making of behind the scenes. It's called like 2 extra DVDs on the box set there, and you can watch that, and it shows you it was about 4 hours of behind the scenes interviews and chats with everyone, and lots of interviews with the directors, and really showing you behind the scenes of how they made the film. And I was watching this thing, and I was thinking, I could make a film.
So hey everyone, I am Ajay Tambe, the host and producer of CreativeAudios.in podcast, and today this is kind of new format for 2024 where 2 directors, the director duo, I'm interviewing them. I'm kind of looking to discover something new with this show at the same time, trying to break the movie into parts and divide it into what the situation was and how you did it in a way of when people look at that scene, they feel like, oh, this is intriguing. And I just stopped that moment and I was completely into that scene. So we're trying to discover how these guys build this scene, how these guys build this moment that, for a moment you're thinking about your bills and checks and payments and all. And suddenly that moment captures you. And that's where you are, oh, I need to watch what happens next. So this is kind of way where we actually talk about movies and how the film was shot with the directors. This is a new way. I only used to first of all interviews with actors. Now I have directors with me, so I thought, okay, I can do this. And important part here is Wayne Reed, from Knights of Avalon, and 2 years back he was shooting a film, and these are the directors of that film, Thieves in the Night. Welcome to the show, Ted and Max.
Thank you.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. So just a quick reference to all. Wayne Reed was working in the film Thieves in the Night, and we got into conversation in the December, our Christmas and New Year specials, 12-episode series, The Knights of Avalon. That's where Ted got to know about our show and me and what we do. And he was like, hey, I have something for you, and I would like to share the stories for Thieves in the Night. And that's where you thought, okay, we can do something. And I thought, hey, let's do it next. And this is today. So I'd like you all to first introduce yourself, so every listeners and viewers will get an idea. Ted, you go first.
Well, hi, I'm Ted Donchev, and I'm one of the writer and directors of Thieves in the Night. And that's the film that we currently have debuted on Amazon Prime in some countries, the UK and the US, and in other countries it's on other platforms. So yeah, you can look it up. But yeah, and I got involved in filmmaking seriously when I went to film school, and I met this other chap on your screen, Max.
Well, hello. I'm Max Feuerstein, and I'm the other guy, the other writer director of this
Okay.
picture.
Yeah. Ted, the way we are going to go ahead here is I'd like to know, because one thing I saw, you guys are in the business from last, I guess, 10 plus years, right? In the films and all. How many years you've been in this field?
I think it's 7 now, Max. I think it's 7.
Seven.
It's not 10. I think it's around
I
6.
think we met 2017
Yeah.
in film school.
Yeah.
Brighton Film School.
Okay, 2017, I guess. Okay, so like 6 7 years in this field, and I guess before that you were you doing the same thing or completely different thing?
Absolutely not. I was a
Oh,
banker for 9 years. And then I said,
oh,
yeah, if I want to do that, I have to do it now because I live in Austria in a small village and we didn't have really film schools except you want to go to Vienna maybe, and then I'm not sure if there is something.
okay. What
Yeah, and
about
so
you,
I
Ted?
said, sorry?
No, go on.
Yeah, and that's where I decided, yeah, I'm going to film school. I also wanted to do it in English. So
Okay,
yeah, applied to some film schools in England and uh, got into Brighton. And yeah, that's where we met.
okay. Ted, you can go on.
Well, my journey was kind of similar before joining film school and before starting this journey with Max. I was a teacher for 10 years, teaching at
Whoa.
various schools in England and various subjects and stuff. But before that, at university, I did computer animation because I always wanted to tell stories and make films. It's just, directing a film is one of those dreams that people have where
Yeah,
it's like, well, it's basically impossible. So why not give up on that and try and do something else? And so my way of doing something else was doing computer animation, where at least, okay, but it's achievable. It's not like being a film director where it's so incredibly hard to get into that. So my way of getting into it was doing film animation at university. But here in the UK, there isn't that much work at the entry level of film animation, so I ended up doing a whole bunch of other things. And eventually I enjoyed teaching. But yeah, and in 2017 I joined Brighton Film School as one of the better film schools in the UK on this program, and I met Max, and I was very happy to do so because we were able to do quite a lot of things together. Since we've done every project pretty much
yeah.
together, and several short
This is how
films.
you started.
Yeah, that's how
This
we
is how
started.
you.
Well,
Yeah.
so at film school, the story is that, you end up being paired up with people on various
Yeah.
projects, and you
Yeah.
normally change around. But
Mm-hmm.
we started working on the very first project, and we liked each other's style. We kind of have different skills, but also we agree stylistically on most things, which I think is very helpful. So me and
Yeah.
Max are very different, but at the same time, we both agree on what a story should be, which I think is
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
important.
Okay.
Same but different.
Yeah,
Same skin, but
just
different.
just just hold on, I'm going to talk a lot about how you guys do things in very particular questions. Don't tell everything in one question.
Sorry.
So here's the thing, to
Spoiler.
everyone before yeah to everyone before we begin, we are now connected in 3 different countries. Max is now in Austria, Ted is in England, I'm
Yep.
in India, and this is kind of creative energy that's passing on at this moment. So here's the thing, 7 years doing filmmaking, direction, acting, hiring people, looking for castings, working on small things, trying to figure out that line, that plot, that scene, staying up all in the night, and that late night shoots that you do is hectic. There's a lot of acidity happening, and there's a lot of things that things doesn't go the way. There's tight schedule. Now in 2024, you guys are in that. But let's focus back on the period where how you actually started in this field. What actually made you, hey, I want to be in this business? And that's where you took, because now I came to know that Max was working in the bank, right? It was
Yeah.
it was completely 9 to 5 job, And about you, Ted, I forgot what you were doing, but you were not doing the same thing.
No,
uh,
I was teaching. I was a teacher.
yeah, you were a teacher. So
Yeah.
now these are two different professions. When you guys watch film, it's like a escape from your real world. Now to come up with a mentality to, hey, I want to make this, that requires a different kind of thing that's going on in your mind and in your head from last 4 5 years. So tell me about what happened that you jumped into this field.
Max, you want to go first?
Max,
Yeah,
you
do you
can.
mean how we got interested in film, or what was the decision to leave the job?
Oh, how, yeah,
And
yeah, same six. Two things are the same. Like how you got, I mean, like not
okay,
interested, but what made you jump?
yeah. So I
What was going on?
always wanted to be involved in filmmaking my entire life. First, I
Okay.
wanted to be an actor.
Mm.
Watched Die Hard and those movies and thought, oh yeah, that's
Oh, so
cool.
you are the diehard fan.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
not a Die Hard fan, but
But
yeah,
there are
it
movies
was
where people are fans.
the Bruce Willis action movies made
Oh
me
yeah.
want to be an actor. And
Mm-hmm.
then what changed my mind on being a director and writer was when I think I was 7 or so, watched Pulp Fiction and the
Okay.
scene where John Travolta shoots Bruce Willis. And I thought, oh, this is an moment,
Oh,
a big thing. And so I
okay.
thought, okay, I want to be the brain behind those scenes who creates those moments.
Wow. That's
And
good. That's good.
yeah, and because I'm from Austria, it's like Ted said, an impossible thing to achieve, making movies
Mm-hmm.
and everything. Yeah, like they're waiting for Big Macs to show up. Yeah, do something else, do something
Good.
normal.
Good.
And
Okay.
yeah, so that's how I got into the bank stuff because that's
Mm.
how you used to do it.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And
I get it. Get it.
during that time, I was always writing on a screenplay. It was this big martial arts film, which I wanted to make as my
Okay.
first feature. So I was
Mm-hmm.
working on that for years. And, 1 year passed, another year passed, and I thought, okay, um, I better do something now to
Yeah.
push it forward
Yeah.
and yeah, get the skills needed.
Good.
And yeah, I don't know what it specifically was, but at what one point I said, yeah, if you
Mm-hmm.
want to do this, you got to do it now. And then yeah, I said,
So,
let's do it.
you just resigned. You just resigned, or was that planned resignation? Like how you got off your job. You planned like, okay, in this 4 months I'm going to go off the job, or you just know that's it, I'm off. Like because the financials also matters here. How you planned it?
Yeah, I had a little bit savings, so
Okay.
I don't know, I could afford to go to England and
Mm-hmm.
because film school also is not very cheap.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that's true. That's true.
I gave my boss quite a heads up of a few months and said at
Mm-hmm.
that point I will be leaving. So that was
Oh,
all fine.
okay, okay. So you planned it properly and you make sure
Yeah,
that whoever your boss was knows that. Important
yeah,
thing
yeah.
here, yeah, yeah. Important thing here is to note is he know what his financials was, how many money he had in his bank account, and what kind of money film school charge, to do one session or two classes, three classes. And he knew that, okay, this is the money I will need if I'm planning something to do it, and he had it. And I guess that's the very calculated risk that you took to get into this field. And I guess you writing something when you were working in bank job, writing screenplays, that's crazy things, you calculating something and then writing some fiction, pulp fiction, like some karate thing you're writing. So was this the childhood thing that you to imagine, hey, I'd like, or it just happened? Like how was your childhood, related to movies and films, like attraction wise?
We watched movies all the time.
Okay.
On the weekends we went to a videotheque. I don't know how it's called, so the proper word where you can rent movies. You
Oh
bring it
yeah, I
back,
know.
and we rented 3 movies a day, brought it back, and
Mm-hmm.
took new ones
Mm-hmm.
with us.
Okay.
And yeah, and then I was playing with my little action figures, and I thought, oh, this should be a movie.
Oh,
So yeah, like, so,
wow,
yeah.
wow. So kind of
But
good. Okay, go on.
no, I would just want to say I watched plenty of films, a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah. Yeah, I get it. I get it. These are the things that, there's a lot of things going inside head where we visualize that whole drama is happening, but in front of us, these are just toys that's in front of us. And that visualization, I guess that's what kept you going till 2017, where you took the big jump and then put that visualization on board and in front of people. Thank you so much, Max. Now I'm move on to Ted. Ted, you go on. How you
Um,
jumped on? First of all, what kind of school teacher? Please tell us about the whole job. How you like decided to? "Oh, no, I'm going to be a teacher." Like that's rare. Tell me.
well, yeah. I always had, well, I had many different jobs before becoming a teacher. I
Okay.
think, after graduating computer animation and then not finding anything in computer animation around, I ended up trying a whole bunch of different jobs. I
Okay.
was an insurance salesman. I sold computer equipment to whole
You
businesses.
were the salesman.
So I
Like
did a lot of
you
selling.
had. Oh, that's how you got me. Okay, I get it. I get it.
And I did many different jobs, and I always got bored.
Hmm.
So, for example, when I was working as an insurance salesman, as soon as I learned all the things that I need to say to get cheaper insurance, I
Yeah. Yeah.
lost interest in working that job because I
Hmm.
learned everything that would be useful in real life from
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I was a barman for many years. So the point is that I tried different jobs whilst avoiding doing the one thing that I actually wanted to do, which
Mm.
is make films,
Yeah.
because I always told myself, and I think it's one of the things that you hear a lot, especially coming from a smaller country, like because I'm from Bulgaria, and
Hmm.
you hear a lot of, well, that's basically impossible. Don't do that. Do something
Oh,
more sensible. So I did lots of jobs in computing. I was, I could do programming. I could do graphic design, 3D animation, all those things. But none of them were exciting. And so teaching is a good profession, and uh, it's one of those where no 2 days are the same. And I had
oh.
teaching different subjects in my career, but I always wanted to do films. And growing up, much like Max, we used to go to the video rental store all the
Hmm.
time, and I would
Hmm.
go 3 times a week, 4 times a week to get like you know you get through 2 or 3 cassettes and you watch them, and then you like
Wow.
show them, and you get another 2 or 3 VHS
Okay.
tapes. um
Hmm.
and because I'm old, yes, VHS, it was all VHS back then.
Yeah.
um
No, no, I know that. I know that. I also grew up in the same background. We are a little bit behind where the culture was in the rural areas of India. So I get it.
yeah, the VHS tapes, and you had to rewind it, otherwise you get a fine.
Yeah.
It was it was standard. But so I grew up watching films, and I always thought it was kind of this impenetrable thing to get to
Hmm.
directing a film,
Yeah.
until I was getting ready for university. This was before university, before I did computer animation.
Okay.
I watched The Matrix, and I was a big fan of The
Hmm.
Matrix when it first came out in '99. But I watched the making of behind the scenes. Is a whole like 2 extra DVDs on the box set there, and
Okay.
and, and you can watch that, and it shows you it was about 4 hours of behind the scenes interviews and chats with everyone, and lots of interviews with the directors, and
Yeah.
really showing you behind the scenes of how they made the film. And I
Hmm.
was watching this thing, and I was thinking, I could make a film. Like, yes, not at the
Okay.
level of the
I
Matrix,
get it.
obviously,
I get it.
crazy, but
Uh-huh.
but it shows you a little bit of, hey, this is
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
kind of skills you need. And I
Hmm.
was looking at myself at the time, and I was thinking, well, maybe I could make a film.
Oh,
Maybe it's
yeah.
possible. Who knows? So many, many, many years later, I actually decided to take the plunge and go to Brighton Film School, and we made for some films,
Hmm.
which is pretty crazy. Because film school was an interesting experience, but the best thing about it was meeting some really, really good people, mostly Max,
Yeah.
who's been there since the beginning.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
yes,
got it.
that was the journey, I think.
Got it, got it, got it. So the salesman part is really important. It's not the thing that was keeping you behind. It was the thing that is going to help you now in coming years, because that's how
Maybe.
the marketing part and the salesman sales basically is very important in this field. Because if you are independent, if you are doing by your own, you should know about all about marketing and how it's done, and majorly how to pitch something, or how to get someone on board. Because I guess that's one part I think that's helping you out today now in 2024. uh, And I guess you were also like movie buff 4 days a week in like that store and grabbing some movies. So what was your parents' reaction? What was going on with them? Like they were all okay with you? How were you in studies and all, and what was going on with that?
Well, my parents. So my dad was a professor of psychiatry. My mom was a doctor of psychiatry. So doctors and academics, they were not super pleased, because they were hoping for something. When I
Yeah,
did teaching, they were happy that I was doing a serious job.
yeah,
But of course, that's just that kind of point of view that we've all
yeah.
probably encountered at some point. So when I finally decided to do it, it was many questions of yes, yes, but where's the money? And initially,
Oh,
when you're starting out, I think you end up spending money,
yeah.
instead of
A
making
lot
money,
of money. A
because
lot of
that's
money.
how it is. Because you need to have some projects under your belt. Nobody's going to trust you with their money if you
Yeah.
have done nothing.
Hmm.
So raising funds is all about reduction of risk,
True.
and
True.
and that's what it is. So you need to show that you can do things and you can make projects happen, because before that nobody wants to trust you with their money, which makes sense you know
Yeah. Complete sense.
so
Got.
so yeah, my parents were probably right in trying to discourage me, because it's not it's not the easiest or safest industry to get into.
Yeah.
But ultimately I think it has its own rewards, because you get to tell stories, which
Got.
is
Yeah.
fairly rare in the world.
And now, before I jump on to Max, how you made his first film, please tell me the jump part where you actually decided. You remember the moment that you said, "Hey, now that's it. I'm not going to teach anymore. I'm going to the film school. I'm taking that thing, and I'm making sure dedicating my rest of the life to that."
That
Any flashback?
well, that it was an advert that I think I saw, and somebody showed me that there are film school courses that are actually
Yeah.
affordable.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have to quit teaching immediately. I could still do it for some days of the week, and then obviously we went to film school. So I continued teaching through
Mm-hmm.
film school, and it was only the year after or the year after that I left. We were already. I remember we were writing the script for Thieves in the Night, and I was teaching biology at that point. And so
Wow.
the
So
kids were
when you
doing
left,
something, and I was writing somebody's death, I think. The point is that there's a crossover period.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get it. I get it. Now I came to know that you were teaching at the same time. So you were multitasking. You were putting the all creative mind inside that film, but you're also making sure that what you're going to teaching, what you're going to teach the next day. You know that these kids are going to expect something from me tomorrow.
They are.
And
That was good.
tell me when now you still teach, or have you left it? Like
No,
what
no,
happened?
I stopped doing that some years ago now.
Okay.
But it's because it's something that you take a lot of the work home with you.
Yeah.
So and you can't really focus on certain things. So it's
Yeah.
helpful to not do
Just
that.
leave.
But yeah, I'm not doing
Yeah.
that right now. No.
Okay, got it, got it. So, first of all, kind of different journey. You guys met in a film school, right? So that's where you all started. So, Max, tell me now. You used to write screenplay, but you made any kind of short film or any kind of thing before meeting Ted or before joining any kind of school and all?
Yeah, when I was 8 years old, I made a little psycho spoof film which I showed at my class, but that was
Wow.
mostly improvised. And
Okay.
with 12 or so, I met a Scream spoof film with my cousin, but also it was
Hmm.
just random scenes connected. No, there was
Okay.
no real story in that. Um,
Uh-huh.
After that, I didn't shoot much because I wanted the screenplay to be right, and I wanted to
Okay.
make a feature film. Yeah, from
Mm-hmm.
from the get go, basically. When I made
Okay.
my first real short film was because of film school because they wanted to see something, and I said, okay,
Okay.
well, let's shoot something. And I even had to act in it, and yeah, it's not
We're
great,
Mm-hmm.
good.
but it's
We're
okay. It's
good.
on YouTube.
Okay, okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, so 8-year-old Max was making films with his cousins, and then suddenly jumping to, like, I guess I don't know how many years, but then directly in 2017. I guess that's a huge gap. But in between, you thought, okay, the whole creative energy is used. Now you need to improve on your screenplay. That was going on in your head. I guess that's what
Yeah,
led you to. Yeah, go on.
I just wanted to have a good script to film. So that was
Oh,
my
yeah, I get
priority. Before, I'm not having a great script, I'm not filming it.
it.
That was why it took so long.
Great to hear. You got that clarity of, okay, now I want this. That's it. Okay, great. What about
Yeah,
you? Did
basically, sure. Yeah, just wanted
yeah,
to say,
there's a problem with
if
your
I film
Wi-Fi,
something, it
I guess.
shouldn't be shit. Sorry?
Oh, dead.
Well, the script is very important. The script is very important, and so yes, obviously, you always want to be making a feature film, a full length, big film. However, when you're
How
starting
you
out,
started? How you started? The first
well,
one, the first
how
one.
I started is I used to make little films on. My dad brought back a VHS camcorder thing that you put on your
Okay,
shoulder.
like in your
Um,
school days.
no, well, yes, back when I was, I don't know, I want to say 12, 13, something like this.
Oh, right.
And
Yeah,
with
in
my
school
best
days.
friend in Bulgaria, we would make little silly film, very silly films. But because it was mostly jokes and stuff, and we could, we wanted to tell
Yeah,
little stories, but obviously you can't make serious films at that level. But always wanted to.
yeah, I get
And
it. I get it.
uh, playing with Lego and recreating stories.
Yeah.
It's interesting that Max mentioned Pulp Fiction because Pulp Fiction was a big inspiration for me as well. I think that's one of the things that we bonded over in film school was our love for Tarantino,
Mm-hmm.
and so that also helped. And yeah, and so before film school, I did 2 or 3 little short films, either on my own or with my friend from Bulgaria, or
Mm-hmm.
just to sort of get the idea of what it is to make a story from
What it
beginning
takes.
to end.
Yeah, you're
Um,
just figuring out.
yeah, because I think it's important. Like you can't go to film school and expect it to teach you everything. You can't,
Yeah,
because you
yeah,
need to have tried all these things yourself. You need to have watched all the tutorials. And now we
yeah.
live in this amazing world where YouTube has everything, and
Mm,
you can watch tutorials on how to set up the camera settings, what does
yeah,
what on the lights, and
yeah.
why would you use that light and not the other light, and
Mm-hmm.
and which camera, what lens, and what lens gives you what, and why should you do any of these things. All of this stuff is hours and hours and hours of researching,
Yeah.
watching reviews, watching people talk about it, listening to experts in their field
Mm-hmm.
discuss using various equipment. And at
Yeah,
that time, it's still kind of a little bit academic because you're like, well, maybe one day, but you're keeping that information in your head because when you go to film school, you can't expect them to teach you all of that stuff,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you have to come there mostly prepared. For me, that was my
That was
approach.
your point of view.
I
Yeah,
want to go to film school knowing all the stuff they're going to teach me already,
got it. Yeah,
because that way I can focus on finding someone that I can tell stories with,
yeah,
and making as many short films as possible instead
yeah.
of still learning
Just yeah.
the A, B, C of it,
I guess being a teacher, that you being a teacher helped you a lot before just signing up as a student. I guess that job that you were doing as a teacher actually helped you. Hey, if I'm studying something, I need to know XYZ before, because you know the end product, what happens next when you sign up for something. You
Mm,
can't expect someone to teach every single thing in that 1 or 2 hour and
mm,
magic happens. You being a teacher, you understand that, you have that empathy with that fellow teacher, that hey, he's going to teach me, but there is a limitation to that, and that's where you try to just dismantle that whole machine, and then knowing all the parts, and then when the teacher is teaching you, you get it. Okay, this is what he's talking about, this is what I should do. I guess a teacher, being a teacher, that helped you a lot before signing up, and that's great.
maybe
Just
that.
one thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, that is it. First of all, just do one thing. Can you switch your laptop, because there's a lot of light coming in on your
Ah, yes, and the
face?
light, the light
Yeah.
is changing.
Or you can just use the curtain to completely black that out.
Uh,
A bit of frame.
is that
Just
better?
just a bit more, a bit more. Yeah,
Okay.
that's perfect. That's perfect. Everything's
Okay.
good. Now it's good. So first of all, you guys met in film school where you signed up for acting, right? Both of you.
No,
Uh,
no, it was directing.
It was
Directing and
directing.
cinematography was the course that we
Cinematic.
did.
Okay, got it. How many months? 6 months, 12 months,
So it was
9. I think it was a
10
9-month
9 month
course.
course.
Yeah, it was a 10 month. It was a full academic year, so 10 months.
Okay, okay. 10 months you spent together. what made you decide, and in which month you decided that, hey, we can collaborate, we kind of we have the same energy for films, and 2 months in second month.
I think it was the second month. It was maybe even before that. When was the
It
first
was
Like,
project?
it was quite early on when the teacher said, "You two figure something out," and yeah, then it clicked basically.
Yeah.
wow. So that's how you clicked. That's how you thought, hey, we have the same energy and we kind
Yeah.
of match our thoughts. That's where
I think
you
we laughed at the
actually.
same silly jokes, and so when it was when the teacher asked us to get into pairs, I remember we just kind of looked at each other and we just nodded, and that was the end of that. Because I remember like we were laughing at the same stuff that not everyone
Mhm.
else was laughing at. I can't remember what it was now, but the point is, I think there was some sort of synergy with our sense of humor
Good.
there, which is
Okay.
important.
Yeah, yeah. And 10 months after that, what because once the class is over and the whole thing is over, everyone goes back to where they came from, because there's no surety
Yes.
in this field. There's very uncertainty what will happen next to us and blah
Mhm.
blah things. But what made you then to come up with the thought and a proper energy that, hey, I think we both can do something, which led to foundation of RCC? Tell me that.
So I'll tell you the story real quick, and then Max can give
Sure,
some details
sure.
because I remember it quite clearly. So we started film school in September, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I think it was early September, and by December, so the course finishes in July. By
Okay.
December, we were sitting in a pub trying to figure out the name of our first company because
Wow.
it was quite soon.
Yeah.
Now it was before the new year that we came up with the RCC.
Oh
Which
yeah, yeah. Show me that. Keep that cup on the frame. You can just market that company.
so it was quite quick. It was because at film school, if you're doing directing,
Yeah,
and well, there isn't enough time in the course for everyone to get to direct.
yeah.
So everyone gets to direct a very limited amount of things at film school.
Mhm.
Um, some people never get direct. We were lucky enough to direct at every opportunity. People seem to like, the stories that we were trying to tell.
Mhm.
And even when we weren't allowed to pitch our own story, somebody else wanted us to direct their film,
Yeah.
which was crazy. But that's still not enough things to get the experience that you need to make a big feature film, which is what we wanted
Mm.
to do. So by I think it was January of the 2018, we had
Mhm.
already shot our first RCC short film, which is called Dead End. That's also
Okay.
available on YouTube.
Okay. I'm going to link
And,
everything that you send to me. I'm going to link everything in the episode description so people can just
okay,
check out what you are saying.
nice. Because yeah, so that was the first short film that we made, and I think in the
Mhm.
summer of 2018 we made Domino. Is that right, Max? That
Yeah.
seems correct to me. That was a second short film. It was
Mhm.
twice the length of the first one.
Okay.
It was a lot more ambitious. It
Mhm.
has pyrotechnic special effects and,
Wow.
uh, and other things. It was more ambitious, trying to learn as many skills as we could
Yeah.
to
Uh-huh.
get
Uh-huh.
Basically, the
making a
the
film.
third guy in our company, Matt, it was a DP, said, "Yeah, I have a shed I don't need. We can burn it for a film." And then we wrote a short script around it. So yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can't
That's how.
waste a
And how
burning
you?
shed. You might as well
Yeah.
use it in making a film.
True. 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 How were you casting people at that point? Like any friends, or you have artists at that point? Like what was that
Um,
casting for you?
we always use Star Now, the website,
Mm-hmm.
and even for the first feature, we used that platform. It's pretty good
Okay,
to
okay,
get
that's the
people.
platform that you got artists to work with you, even from your short films and all. Great, great thing.
Yeah.
So that, I guess, 2 months, then you properly, and now that company is running very good at this moment, right? Where you are coming up with projects like after 6 months, 4 months. But great to know that you founded that like within 2 3 months. That's rare to happen. This is really good part of you both. This chemistry is really good, where creative minds coming together and then working out and coming with the name and company, and then starting getting films out of their body, their mind, and making it happen, kind of thing. So this is really good, because this is the first time I came to know about how you thought of it. I thought it happened after 10 months. It's really good that it happened in 2 months, that you can, hey, that's it, we match. and then we should do something, and you are rocking it at this moment. uh, so now here's the thing. We'll now quickly jump on to your film, Thieves in the Night. So Ted, help me with, in a simple words, for 15, 16, 17, or anyone who's looking to know what this movie is about, can you explain what Thieves in the Night is, the movie?
Okay, well, Thieves in the Night is a suspense thriller, I would say,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
with an element of dark comedy, and
Okay.
it's a film about consequences of
Okay.
your actions. Basically, these thieves, they break into a house looking to hide after doing a crime job somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not looking to rob the house. They're just looking to hide there overnight while the police, search the area. But
Oh.
but inside the house, they find a family who
Mm-hmm.
don't necessarily want to be kept hostage, and
Got
so
it.
some things happen, and yeah, and then it's finished.
That's how. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Max, tell me how the castings happened for this film. How you got people in this film, like the casting process, how many months it took for you to just cast the characters properly?
Hmm.
Casting was quite quick. We used
Okay.
Star Now again and got hundreds of applications
Mm-hmm.
for each role. We put
Mm-hmm.
in a little character description. Then we sent them a scene, which then we asked them to film, record themselves, send the tape. Then we
Okay.
gave some directions and asked to redo it with our
Mm-hmm.
input.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we found people. Yeah.
Okay.
And there were some surprises there. For example, Wayne, who plays
Wayne
Ray in
Reed.
the film.
Yeah.
Um, we had imagined that character to be quite different, more like a David Duchovny, Clive Owen
Oh.
type.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
And when I heard his voice for the first time, I said, "Ooh, okay,
Yeah.
let's have an audition."
Wow.
And then yeah, he got it immediately. Then
Got it. Got it.
uh, yeah, and we were very lucky with our whole cast
Whole
because there are
cast and things.
some tricky characters in there,
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, we were worried. On this platform are also amateur actors,
Mm-hmm.
and we're how we going to find the right people to pull this off.
Yeah.
And
Got it.
yes, we absolutely did. It was fantastic.
Also, tell me about the casting of Tim Cullingworth, because that character is really interesting and catches eye anyone who's watching the film, with his dialogues, the way he is telling the line. The one thing about Tim Cullingworth that made you, okay, I think Tim should be a part of this project, and he looks exactly what I imagine. What happened that you casted
That was one of the roles we were worried about
Yeah.
casting
him? Hmm.
because that is quite a character.
Yeah.
I imagined him to be completely different from looks, but
Okay.
that's the good thing when you make movies. It's collaboration, and the actors bring their own spin to it. They're
Hmm.
changing the character quite a bit just with how they
Yeah.
perform.
Mm.
And Tim, we asked him quite a few times to send something and then to make something different, do it like
Okay.
this.
Hmm.
And yeah, so that was the longest character to say, okay, we're
Okay, you're
giving it
testing a
to
lot.
you
You're
now.
doing a lot of auditions because you know
Yeah,
the
yeah.
craft
And
this
even
guy is
even
going to have.
Tim had to send the 7 tapes or so where he does it differently, and I said, maybe this is a little bit different.
Wow.
And yeah, he's perfect in it.
He,
Mm-hmm. Got
he's perfect in it. I think it's also one of the things. Well, we might get on that later. When the way we shoot things is that we tend to let the actors play, and that means that they can reword things in their own voice if they want
it.
to,
Mm-hmm.
try something different. Um, in this, we use that as a sort of tool because sometimes we wouldn't tell the actors that are playing the family, the hostages, what's
Yeah.
going to happen and what Tim is going to say, as Cody, the character. and
Yeah.
and so sometimes we'll be talking to Tim and we'll be discussing the next thing, and we'll make sure that the family doesn't know what's going to happen. So then when he explodes,
Wow.
it's more of a real reaction from the
Okay.
family as
Okay. So
well.
there's a lot of improvisation.
There was a good amount of improvisation. We allowed it. We did rehearsals a few
Mm-hmm.
times before we even started doing takes. And so we discovered a lot of these things in improvisation during rehearsals. And then if we liked it, we kept it. If we didn't, we took it away before we got to shooting. But we let them play because, the best idea could come from anyone on the set. I've always believed that. And I think trying to be a director with a big ego where you think you know everything is not the best way to make a film. It's a collaboration. It's and everyone is involved.
And Tim improvised the whole scene that was not in the script. The brand scene.
Got it. So whose idea was this to make this Movie Thieves in the Night? Like, who came up with the idea of this film?
It was like this. We had basically a finished script for a slasher film.
Okay.
But it had much more locations and actors. It was a bigger scope. And we said, no one will give us money to make this.
It would have cost $500,000, $4 million. It would have cost a lot of money to make that film and to do it right. So we had a full script basically, and we were walking around the park, and we came up with something different.
Yeah, so we said, okay, it has to be one location, so it's filmable and filmable fast, and not too many characters. And then the news came out that Tarantino is making Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and it was more rumored to be a home invasion film with the mention. Said, okay, let's start the competition. Who makes the better home invasion film? And
okay. That was the motivation.
This isn't even a home invasion film, so he loses by default.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Love that kind of motivation that you guys have. You guys are really doing this well. First of all, really jumping on the part of this characters, Tim's character we discussed. Now we focus on the part where you sent me 3 portions of the story. Just hold on, you messaged me. It was the grandma story where Tim starts the monologue, and I guess after that also it was very intriguing. So go ahead and tell me about that. How you shot it? What was that?
So so Tim's grandma story. Cody's grandma,
and also more ahead after that. Like for 1 minute, 3 minutes was really interesting. After that monologue also.
So that scene leads into the scene where he takes the daughter character Mia upstairs, and he's trying stuff which doesn't work, which is good. But anyway, so before that, so we had this scene where it's kind of an uncomfortable silence, and that's in the script. That's kind of what it was. It was an uncomfortable silence. Everyone's quiet, and then somebody starts being bored and wanting to, and that's how we get to them needing a board game from upstairs. But on the day we were messing around a little bit, and and in the silence Tim was saying some funny stuff just to crack everyone up, I think. And also because it's a little bit creepy. This villain who's telling this sweet story about his grandma, and then the sweet story, there's a twist to it. There's a turn. And once we started doing that, we liked that he was making everyone uncomfortable, which obviously helps the tension of the scene.
Yeah.
But because it makes people uncomfortable, it also made them laugh a lot. We had about an hour or something like that scheduled to film this little bit of that scene. And I think it was about 2 hours later when everyone just kept on laughing. Every time Tim even opened his mouth and talked about the grandma, everyone was just laughing.
So when he was saying that, what was the reaction to that? Like, because it was complete silence.
Well, the thing is, it's the first time he said that the grandma shot herself. Is the thing, but I don't want to reveal too much of that story. I think it's too funny.
Yeah.
But but the first time he said that, everyone just started laughing, and they did not stop laughing. Yeah, Max.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden time starts to run out, and said, "Okay, and we're not getting to see them because everyone laughs." And said, "Okay, family,
there's a schedule.
Everyone out. We're just filming Tim's speech now with no one in the room."
Yeah.
So then we at least had his part of the scene, so he could deliver his speech without anyone interrupting. And then we got the family back in, and then we filmed their reactions.
Yeah. because
But
we
once
just
they
couldn't
come
do
back
it.
in, they cooled down, and then it worked.
Hmm.
But to film his part, we had to send everyone out.
Yeah,
Got it, got it, got it. So I guess how many days it took to the shoot this whole thing, like the
Three
full
weeks.
film? Tthree
it
weeks.
was
We shot
three
it
Okay,
weeks.
and
in
the
three
prep
weeks.
process, you did
Prep
any
process
workshops?
prep process was quite long. So
Mm,
what we did
I know.
is we did a little bit of crowdfunding,
mhm.
and
Okay,
for that we shot a trailer before we even
okay.
shot the film. We got all the
Mm-hmm.
cast in
Mm-hmm.
and made this trailer. So that was also good because you see
Yeah.
are is it working, and
Mm.
Okay,
to
that's a
test the
test.
actors as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then
There were
we
some
wanted to
changes
shoot.
after that. We
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
learned some stuff, and we changed a couple of the cast, and then we were ready. Because also we had tried a little bit of the process ourselves,
Yeah.
knew how
And
quickly we can work,
mm,
and that gave us an idea. Because that was 3 weeks of very intensive shooting every day.
yeah.
Apart from one day a week, we gave people a break. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but we were working from 9ish to about 10 in the evening, sometimes a bit
Got it. I
earlier.
guess
Um,
13 hours.
but yeah, obviously with breaks, we gave them lots of
Oh,
food.
I get it. I
They
get
were
it. I
very
get
well fed. Uh,
it.
they
Okay, I
were
get
well
it.
rested and well fed, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And we
I
wanted to shoot
remember
it.
that time. I remember that time. That's the time where I called Wayne Reed and told him, "Hey, I got something for you." And he's like, "Hey, I'm in mid of shooting. After midnight, I can do this recording. I have a mic." That was the conversation I had with him in the night. So that's
Yeah.
why I can recall. Yeah, go on, Max.
Mhm.
Yeah, we wanted to shoot it earlier, but then
Hmm.
COVID happened, and
COVID,
Oh yeah.
yeah, so we had to delay it by at
a
least a
year,
year.
about a year.
Oh, so you're saying you shot a part and then the rest you
No,
shot
no,
after a year.
we were about to plan the shoot, so
Okay.
everyone was cast already,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Mm-hmm.
COVID happened, so we couldn't do it, so we had to wait a year,
That
Okay.
was a
which
Got it.
secret good thing in
yeah,
disguise, because
Okay.
we used that year to go through the script one more time and
Mm-hmm.
add quite a lot. So what we ended up shooting was a lot better than what we would have if COVID didn't happen.
Yeah.
It didn't, because it forced us to take a break,
Oh,
and so we
oh,
reviewed it one more time.
okay. Got it. Got it. I guess that was like blessing in disguise for you, where it just happened and it really worked. But tell me about the location that you got the house. Whose house
Yeah.
was that? Like you got it on rent? What was that?
Yeah. We basically were able to, because we were looking at the time, and this is an idea that people can use. We were looking at the time on Airbnb, and looking at the kind of house that we were imagining when we were writing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we got in touch with several people. One of them was an actor in the film, and he was able to
Mm-hmm.
help us with the location,
Okay.
because it was a relative of his that was renting it out in Airbnb, so we could have got it from there.
Mm-hmm.
But we were able to get a better deal through that, and so we did, and we used it. It
That's
was very, very useful.
got it.
It saved us a good bit of money.
yeah,
Okay.
and
Okay. Okay.
it also was easier to get permission to shoot a film because you can just rent a
Yeah.
house and make a film there.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
I guess you guys told them that you're going to use this for a movie. How was that when you
Oh
took
yeah,
it?
they did. They knew. They were quite excited about the fact that
Wow.
the film was being. A lot of people like that. It's a small. It's
Okay.
the Isle of Wight. It's this one,
Mhm.
and it's the Isle of Wight, and it's not a huge community. So
Mhm,
when
mhm,
something
mhm.
happens, like a film is being shot there, everyone kind of knows about it. Um,
Great.
and they're quite excited to have a film being
Excited.
shot
yeah.
Yeah.
in their house.
Okay. Got it.
And the owner is, I think, Tim's mother-in-law. So
Yeah,
they were quite happy to help him as well to make
Oh.
yeah.
this happen. Yeah.
Yeah, now that's great. That's great. Having the support from the cast also helps you a lot to get that extra edge if you go off the record, off the schedule where you have to shoot something, but this, and then they can allow. So that's also good part. So
Mhm,
I guess 13, 14 hours every 6 days, and one more than 1 year. It took a lot to make this film happen. There's
mhm.
one part I'd like to discuss more about, where I wrote it down because I really found it interesting. So there's something with Liv Peg, I guess. Mia, she played Mia, the daughter.
Yeah, yeah.
There's relation between Mia and Cody. Tell me about, because that was really, interesting, because it got hooked with the grandma story. That's where, it started building up, but it got more into, hey, this is new angle. What's happening here? When they go up, and it's completely out in the pitch, and there's a kid also at the same time. So
Mm-hmm.
first of all, tell me about this angle with Mia and Cody, and what was that throughout the story? Like, who came up with, like, what, how you designed that?
It's very difficult to look back and say who came up with what. It's a bit of a
We literally
blend,
don't.
but we both come
Okay,
up with
so that was on
everything.
the spot, like you came up,
No,
or
that was
what
in
No,
the
is
no,
the?
no.
script.
That was in
We
the
just
script somewhere. That was in the script, but who came up with it? We can't tell you, because when we come up with stuff,
It's
it,
just
it
in
just
the
happens. I have
conversation. It
no idea
happens.
what's
Yeah.
my idea, what's Max's idea.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. No, no, no. I'm not talking about that. Okay, I'm saying,
Yeah. We
what
wanted to
was it?
have.
Because I guess the story was thieves coming up inside the house for the stay,
Mhm.
and Mia suddenly is like, there's a kind of attractive energy
Yeah.
between both of those. So she
Well,
knew about
Yeah.
them.
That's what you don't
She
want
knew.
as a
That's the
parent.
question. That
yeah. So
she knew.
we wanted to scare, like, there's different types of like suspense, and there's different types of terror that you can have.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
as Max said there, I think as a parent, the last thing you want is criminals into your house, right? And then one of them has a shine for your daughter, right? So you're thinking
Oh.
the worst. And in our story, Mia recognizes that this man obviously has an eye
Mm-hmm.
for her, so she
Okay.
uses that to her own
Ooh,
advantage.
that's it.
So she doesn't
Okay.
really like him, but and as you can see it near the end of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
film,
yeah. That then
um,
afterwards.
but she uses that advantage while
Mm,
she can,
yeah,
because at that time Cody could have found the little brother.
yeah.
So she uses that to distract him, the fact that he likes her,
Mm-hmm.
to distract
Mm-hmm.
him from the fact that there's a kid in the
Yeah,
wardrobe that they're trying to keep secret.
yeah.
Um,
Good, good.
so she kind of like has this power that
Mm-hmm.
we thought would be interesting, and I think she does a really good job with that.
Yep, yep, yep. Completely.
Yeah.
So here's one more part. Now this is a part where we actually are breaking down some important parts. So it's not about people knowing what's happening in the story, but importantly, what happened at that point, why you did that. It's more
Mhm.
about talking to director, not about
Yeah.
revealing something. That's
Yeah.
the thing. So the second part is, there's only 2 points here now. Sophie and Tyler. Tyler was father, right? Joseph wearing
Yeah.
Santa hat. Yeah, yeah. So he was Joseph, and Sophie was the in the gang.
It's like
So that murder part,
funny about
that
it,
that part where yeah, that part where he actually used that knife. And tell me about why Wayne, who is playing Ray, kills her. Now one is dead, he's shot, that's down.
Mhm.
Why?
Yeah.
What made you kill her? Like, he's just snatching. It's not shown. It just felt,
Yeah.
and it's not
Yeah.
shown. It said he goes outside and he, hey, now your partner and my friend, like friend or partner, is dead.
Mm.
That's what Ray is saying.
Yeah. There
So
was
how was that? What led you to do that?
that scene in general has a lot of chaos and a lot of
Yeah.
things, a lot of stress for everyone
Mm-hmm.
involved.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
but she keeps on screaming because she's wounded, and
Okay.
it will eventually alert the neighbors, and maybe they
Oh,
call the
okay.
police, whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
to shut her down, he kills her.
Okay. So he's the
Yeah.
decision maker there.
Well,
Yeah, it was some stress. What gonna do? Shit.
Oh.
yeah,
I'm
you see it in his face, and I think Wayne does a really good job there of going, what am I going to do?
yeah.
Because he knows that the way that she's been wounded in that part of her leg, there's a femoral
Yeah.
artery there. She will bleed out. She will die.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you can get an ambulance here right now, which they can't, obviously, because they're criminals.
Mm-hmm.
They're not allowed
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so they haven't got that choice, and so the other choice is to what, shut her mouth for like an hour while she slowly bleeds
Mm.
out while
Yeah.
screaming.
Why
She's
don't?
going to be
Yeah.
screaming. So realistically, the only option he had in his mind was to just
Was
kill her, and that'll keep her quiet at least.
Yeah.
He's still
okay.
trying to save the family. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wayne Ray, the character of Ray, he tries to save the family, and he makes increasingly poorer and poorer decisions
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah. And
Got it.
those two characters weren't best friends anyway.
Yeah.
So there was also a bit
Oh yeah,
conflict
I mean,
between
like,
those
yeah,
two
I get it.
characters.
Yeah, he slaps her in a
He
way.
slaps
I
her.
saw
She
that.
challenges him earlier.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
She
There's a
gives
lot of.
him attitude, and he doesn't want that.
Mm-hmm.
So she questions his authority anyway.
Yeah.
So I guess that maybe sways him a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Makes it
Mm-hmm.
easier.
It
Yeah,
certainly
yeah.
doesn't make it harder. Yeah.
There's no acceptance of he as a leader of that whole group. So that's
Mm.
why she's thinking at the same time, hey, I'm also at the same level he
Yeah.
is, and that's where I guess
They
the
are.
battle is.
That's exactly right. Yeah, that's exactly
Yeah,
right. He thinks he's the boss and he acts like he's the boss. He's not the
yeah,
boss. The boss got killed before we even
mhm,
start the film.
yeah,
So there is no leader in that
yeah. In
trio of
that,
bad
yeah.
guys. But he acts
Uh,
like the leader, and that rubs Sophie the wrong
mm,
way, I think.
got it, got it. That's what led to all that I saw. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. One more part of chaos that you mentioned in the part. Just give me one sec. Action chaos that happens. When the guy dies, and afterwards there's a big chaos in between you, the whole family at the same time.
Mhm.
So the shooting procedure, when you're shooting all these things, I guess it's happening in one location, and how many people you had in the house when you're shooting this,
Ooh.
how was the camera arrangements, how you were recording every reactions, how you restructure it, because it's kind of impromptu, some things that you told me that you never told them it's going to happened in front of them, and you wanted to grab the natural reaction. Okay, this is how they are going to react, and I want that natural reaction. So how you structured it? Were there any maps that you did? Okay, this is how we are going to do that. You do the settings. This is the diagram, or they can go anywhere, and we can just follow up that whole chaos. What was that?
Well, we storyboarded the whole film as a backup, so
Okay.
that we don't forget anything and have some idea for some shots. But
Mm-hmm.
then we came to location and say, okay, we have to shoot it a bit differently, or the ideas come up on the day.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're mentioning this specific chaos scene, that was quite ambitious from us because we shot it as a one, the whole scene
Yeah.
in one go. We
Yep.
had
Whoa.
two backup cameras shooting into the other room because we see from the kitchen into the hallway and then into the living room. So there are people in every
Mm-hmm.
room.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We have everyone.
Yeah, so we have everyone in that scene, and there's a lot of happening, a lot
Yeah.
of chaos,
Yeah.
and we did a couple of takes to get it right. And then
Okay.
we thought,
Okay.
okay, we have it now, and this is going to be a one with no cuts. And
Okay.
then in the edits, we found out maybe we can cut away to some stuff that
Mm-hmm.
makes it
Mm-hmm.
better.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we only do one cutaway into the corridor, I think, and then we go back to the oneer.
Yeah, there's some cheeky stuff in there. One cut you don't even notice, but
There's a secret. This is true.
that scene we rehearsed quite a lot before
Okay.
we said action because there's blood involved, and
Yeah. Yeah.
then we have to clean everything up and do it again. Is a bit time consuming.
So
So
we did it 6
got
times,
it.
I think, that scene, and
I think
we
so.
shot it.
Wow.
So we shot it. Our camera operator Dong Ji Wei,
Mm-hmm.
amazing work,
Yeah.
because he was able to go from looking at the door to looking at the body to
Mm-hmm.
looking at Cody and Ray holding off the
Yeah.
family,
Yeah.
Uncle Ben,
Yeah.
and looking at
Yeah.
back at Wayne, and then looking back at the
Yeah.
body. All of that was done in
There's a lot of
one take, and he had to refocus every time. It's amazing
wow.
work from my camera guy.
Wow. So tell me about.
Asked a lot of him. You normally don't do this because it is
Mhm.
not easy.
Yeah.
We asked a
Yeah.
lot of everyone on that day because we
Got it.
wanted the chaos to feel real.
Mhm.
And we wanted to feel like everyone is really panicking. We wanted to, and this is the one time we had every single character apart from Eli the kid
Yeah.
on screen at the same time, all acting together at the same time.
Uh-huh.
We had a few scenes where they're all doing stuff, but this one is requiring them all. We had an extra camera that I don't think we ever used any takes from. Did we, Max? Did we use any of the takes from the living room?
Yes.
Did we? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I thought we didn't even use that one.
So you guys actually rehearsed it 6 times on set, or was there any prep before making it?
No,
Everything was done on set.
We
With
shot it
6 takes.
6 times. We
with
rehearsed
6
it.
takes. We rehearsed it like 3 or 4 times. Yeah.
Okay, so in
But it
one
was
day
the
you
whole
did that.
first half of the day. Is the only time we spend that long on a scene.
Mm.
because we just wanted to get the momentum right, and we wanted to hit all
Yeah.
the right emotional notes, because it's a
Mm.
chaotic scene where really what happens is the criminals suffer a loss because one of their
Yeah.
criminal friends is gone, but mostly the
Mm.
family is who's
Yeah.
suffering here. They're not prepared for this. Obviously, it's their relative, it's the dad. So yeah, it
Got
was
it.
a
Got it.
difficult scene to get all the little things playing right,
Yeah.
but
At the
it's
same
worth
time, the energy is also very important. You could
it.
lose the energy what you had in one first take, and then fifth it's completely lost, or it's exaggerated, or it's exhausted. You
Mhm.
can have that, can see that difference. But yeah, a six takes, I guess you spend a lot of energy and a lot of time on particular scene. So who was your DOP? I guess you had some guys. How you guys connected? Told everything to them. Was there anything that was really that you were very keen about? Hey, you should
Yeah,
not miss this.
yeah. Our DOP is Matt Button.
Okay.
We met him in film school as well,
Mhm.
and
Hmm.
he's the third member of our company.
Okay. Okay.
So,
So how the communication was with him during this scene?
on this scene, he had to be somewhere else, so we couldn't use him for that. That's why
Okay. So
our
that's the
camp
wow.
operator Don Wei stepped in,
And he
Hmm.
did a
and
great job.
yeah.
Wow. No, that's good. That
So
sometimes important things. Yeah. Yeah. Go on. Go on. Go on.
for
Elaborate.
for the most time of the film, we had one camera
Hmm.
shooting what we planned,
Hmm.
and the other one was free to fly around and look at what he thinks is right. And
Okay.
yeah, that
Okay,
worked
okay, this is how you
very well.
okay, but sometimes when we are going to shoot something really important, these things happen, where our best guy is not in stock and something is happening with him. I guess because I guess this is very important. You planned it 6 times. Like, hey, we have this guy who's going to do it, and then he doesn't show up. I guess this kind of things happen when something important is going on. But great, great. You have a great team. How many years it took for you to build the core team for your RCC?
Well, I would say we started building the team while we're still at film school, because Matt is still a part of our team. We met him there at film school. He was
Hmm.
the third person in our crew,
Hmm.
as somebody more technical, who
Yeah.
has obviously a lot of years of experience working on things.
Hmm.
He did some of the lights in Transformers,
Okay.
in the movie Fury with Brad Pitt and a few others.
Wow.
So he has experience in the industry at a high level, which gave
Hmm.
us quite a lot
Good
of
edge.
and good edge. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And we started working with him right there at film school in 2017. So we would learn from him as well when he had to do something urgently during the shooting of Thieves. We were okay because he had given enough instruction to our cameraman, and I think
Yeah.
he was. We were not panicking. We were okay. We were
Hmm.
comfortable.
Hmm.
We had been working. So every time we make a project,
Yeah.
you meet new people, um,
So okay. Okay.
and but some you want to keep for next time.
Hmm.
You know,
Got it.
every time we meet someone that we want to work with, we want to work with them
Yeah.
again. And it's the same with actors, and it's the same with crew. So you slowly build
True.
it up, I guess.
Yeah, it's a slow process. At the same time, there's a process where the shedding happens, where the core part is there, but the people you think we might think this will stay, but suddenly drops out. This is a shedding process that happens in every company, and specifically related to creative and art field. I guess that's the process that you went through. Okay, these are the people. I guess 4 5 months these guys will stay with us, and these are good people. But yeah, meeting new people and then connecting with them, bonding with them is the process that you guys are following up from the day that you started out. Great.
I have to
Now tell
correct
me.
one
Okay, go
little
on.
detail just for protocol. It was
Okay.
War Machine with Brad Pitt, not Fury.
War Machine. Sorry, not Fury.
Oh,
Correct.
War Machine. Okay, his name is Matt. What's his name?
Matt Button.
Matt
Matthew
Button.
Button.
Okay, okay, Matt, you got your credit corrected. Okay, okay, yeah. And now here's the thing. How do you now tell me? This is the part where you are sitting in RCC every morning. I don't know because you are now in Austria. He is in England. How you guys operate, but you're sitting on team. There's a lot of ideas flowing up. how do you approach, okay, this idea is interesting, but sometimes Max says, okay, but this is not working with this idea, or the script is good, but okay, we can't manage the budget inside this script because it will take a lot of locations and all. So how do you guys approach for one particular project where you two minds think, okay, we are syncing and this is the project we are going to do?
Okay. Well, here's the thing. We usually kind of know what the next
Mhm.
project is
Mhm.
anyway. Now, between us, we
Yeah,
have quite a
that's
few
what I
ideas.
want to know. How you know, like
Yeah, it's
how you
just
decide.
listen, it's just vibes. No, we know. So this story that we are writing right now, we're writing a script right now. This
Mhm.
exclusive information. Nobody else knows about this, AJ. But we are writing a
Breaking
script right
news.
now,
Okay.
which is a kind of a version of that original script we wanted to make
Mhm.
all those years ago
Mhm.
before we made Thieves in the Night. This
Okay.
is the original serial killer kind of story that we wanted to tell, the one that we didn't have the budget for that time. So
Mhm.
then we wrote Thieves so that it's filmable. Well, this is
Okay.
that story come back now. Finally, all those years later, we knew it was going to be probably our second project, and we played with it as a TV show for a little while, and then
Mhm.
we decided that actually no, we're gonna restructure it, and it's a very tight, very nice movie. There's still a
Okay.
serial killer. I don't want to give too much
Mhm.
away. There's
Mhm.
still a
Mhm.
serial
Mhm.
killer, and yeah, and fans of Thieves in the Night will find something to like in it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a
So
giallo style slasher film with
yes,
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
So one thing I got from you is you guys know that okay, this is it, and you both know at the same time. Okay, this is what,
yeah.
because okay, the sync is very tight. That okay, that's it. You know it's going to match what we have with us, and that's how you decide. There's no other XYZ ideas. Where is there any disagreement with the ideas that you want to make film and you don't want, uh, or you don't think like this will work? Is there kind of like projects that came to you in last
Um,
6 7 years?
so also how we choose projects. We have a lot of scripts in the pipeline to work
Yeah,
on,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
we're basically choosing by budget.
yeah.
So that's
What
then
can
you have to
we
work your way up.
what can we
Got it.
what is the at the level that we're at now? Because
Mhm,
there's no
mhm.
and people make this mistake. So again, this is part of your audience is up and coming
Yeah,
filmmakers. This is an important thing to keep in mind. Write something that you can afford to make,
yeah.
because if you can't afford to make it, then there's no point writing it that way. um, it's either going to look amateurish if you haven't got the
Yeah.
budget to do those things that you want to do. So I don't know, if
Mhm.
you want to have a dinosaur fighting an alien or something, right?
Yeah.
Well, don't write that if you've only got $20,000 to spend, because
Okay.
it's not going to look good, and there's no point doing that. But
Mm.
so writing to your level where you are in the industry is important. There's no
Yeah.
point writing huge action sequences with 300 extras if you don't have the budget to do that. You know.
Got it.
So yeah, that's also how we choose our project. We're thinking, okay, so now we've done
Budget is
this,
important.
we can maybe afford to do that. So
Yeah.
that's the
It's
next
kind
one.
of a practical call here for every indie filmmaker who's going to do it. It's kind of practical call. Okay, how much I have in my bank account and how much I'm going to spend, and then make sure that this is financially a proper project for me, where there's
Mm,
win-win situation, rather than just burning out and getting lost in middle of the project. So I guess, yeah, this is a good call where you decide the budget, and then what, and this is the budget we have, what can we make, and
mm.
okay, that's how you go ahead with it. Okay, great.
It's important to keep
Now,
it in mind. It's not restricting us, but having some
I
restrictions.
mean,
It's,
like,
it's
that's calculative move. That's very
yeah,
important. It doesn't break you in between. In mid of that whole thing happening, because once you start it, then we are creative person. You want to make it happen. That's the
mm,
thing.
Yeah.
Once the creative guy starts it, then it's like, okay, I'm going to make it anyhow. But sometimes, it's good to calculate that. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
yeah.
What might be interesting for the audience is also how we did it with Thieves,
Ah,
because we didn't have a big budget either for this one.
Mm-hmm.
We submitted the script to some screenplay competitions, won one or two awards,
Okay.
and yeah, so we said to the actors, yeah, we may have not even money to pay you. We give you a house, we feed you, but
Mm-hmm.
we'll probably not be able to give you a salary. So I thought,
Okay.
that's not really nice. So we said, okay, here's the deal. for those 3 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
none of us gets paid, but
Mm-hmm.
everyone gets the same share of the film.
Mm.
So at the end, if the film makes profit, you get
Mm-hmm.
the same amount as we do for those 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Great
So
initiative.
so so everyone liked the script and wanted to work
Mm-hmm.
with us. So they said, okay, I'm taking the
Great.
risk. Uh, Everyone, cast and crew, is alike.
Mhm.
And I thought
Cool.
that is a fair way if you don't have the money to have a big salary for everyone, at least give them profit participation.
The
Correct.
profit
Correct.
participation method is a great way of doing things because it gives you two things from a filmmaker's point of view. It gives you
Mm-hmm.
obviously the option of doing this
Yeah.
because paying everyone their salary is expensive
Yeah.
and it will make the budget much bigger. But if everyone is in the same boat, including us, then what it does is it makes everyone a lot more motivated to do a good job because
Mm-hmm.
yeah, okay, their expenses are being paid, but they're not being paid for the time that they need to be paid for, really.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and they won't be paid unless the movie does well. So everyone is pulling in the same direction because everyone wants to be paid eventually. And as much as I think they all agreed and were happy with the script and they were excited, and
Yeah.
that's why those awards were good. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and it made them really believe in the project. I think,
Great.
which I think you can see on screen. I think everyone
Yeah.
does amazingly. I'm
I
super
mean,
proud
like,
of it.
this is the one thing that I heard for the first time, that distributing the share equally and nobody gets paid before and like while the film is shot.
Mhm.
While the film is shot, the one thing I liked is like the clarity when you went on board with this and got those guys, that there was a clarity. Okay, this is how we are moving ahead, and
Mhm.
people who are interested and people we think are good for the cast, are you going ahead with this? Is that a yes or a no? And
Mhm.
that's how you got ahead. That's good clarity, because then once that part is off the mind, you work with all of your energy.
Yeah.
Because once you know, okay, this is it, and yeah, I'm interested, then the whole energy goes into making that shot look good, or giving 100%. I
Mm.
guess that's the one thing that really gets people going creative throughout that filming process. Got it.
Mm.
And at
So
some
here's the thing.
point,
Yeah, go.
sorry, at some point when you make the decision, we're making this now. If
Mm-hmm.
you wait till everything is perfect, you got enough money to pay
Yeah,
everyone, then maybe you never make it. So we
you'll never
knew
make
we could afford the location, food,
it.
and
Mm-hmm.
rent for everyone. So we said, yeah, we're moving ahead anyway.
Yeah.
We're not
Got it.
letting the non-existing budget stop us.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
then, yeah, that's where we got this idea to give profit participation away.
Yeah.
great call. Great call. Great call.
And yeah,
Now we are. Yeah.
and I think one last thing: shooting with two cameras. You young directors out there, shoot with two cameras. It saves you so much time because normally you have to do a whole extra setup and another take if you want to get some individual close-up reactions. But if you're shooting with two cameras and over the 6-7 takes, you get all the reactions individually on the second camera. So
Mm-hmm.
it saved us a lot of time. We wouldn't have been able
Save.
to film this thing in 3 weeks if we were only shooting with one camera. It just wouldn't have
Got
happened.
it. Also the expert who have some kind of experience, 4 5 years, I guess, which will make your job more easier, because that guy knows his job and
Oh
you are
yeah,
free. Yeah, you are free with that. Okay, here's the thing. I'm running out of time here in the co-working space at this moment, so
that's
I'd
okay.
like to jump right back. I guess we covered major part of this film. Now
Mhm.
I'd like to jump on the last portion of this interview, where it's kind of rapid fire. I think it is a rapid fire, but I don't know how it can be a rapid fire. But here are
Okay.
some questions that you can answer one by one. Ted, then Max. Biggest lesson learned from directing this film?
Ooh, biggest lesson learned from directing this film. Uh, Feed your actors well. Yeah,
Okay,
you don't want
okay.
hungry, upset actors.
Hungry act.
You
Yeah,
really
and
don't.
then give
Yeah.
another.
Get get good sound people. Sound is more important than camera. That's the
Yeah.
biggest
Mm,
lesson for filmmakers out there.
got it. Got
Sound.
it.
Sound.
Sound. Sound.
Sound is very important.
Okay, great.
Spend all
Great.
your money on sound.
That's what I'm doing. That's the whole show is about.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. If you could direct any genre next, what would it be?
Should be the same answer for both because we're working on our next project.
We're
That
working
would
on next
be
project.
a
Yeah.
It's a thriller slasher
Thriller.
action dark comedy. I don't know. It's one of ours.
Okay, great. But it's the same, I guess, for you. But if you took any experimental call, what would it be? Like, I guess.
giallo slasher comedy.
Yeah,
Okay.
genre slasher comedy is the
Okay.
next thing that we're working on.
Good. Okay.
Yes,
Great.
but we also have
Uh,
a martial arts film and a sci-fi series planned,
oh
as
wow.
well as other things knocking
Mm.
around in as ideas.
Yeah, in
So
the pipeline,
Yeah.
I guess.
The
Good.
the sequel to Thieves in the Night could be an animated film, Kill
yeah,
Bill style, Eli going on a revenge spree.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
Eli's
yeah,
Good.
Revenge. It's right there in the credits.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who hasn't seen it yet. Um,
Good.
but I do think we have some ideas. Well,
yeah.
it was
A
going to be a
western
comic
would
book.
be nice.
It also could be an anime. A
Okay, just
western.
hold on.
A western would be
Okay,
nice. But
okay.
yeah,
Yeah, we have less time, we are not discussing that much. But the third one, silent scene versus dialogue heavy scenes.
Dialogue heavy scenes. Yeah,
Good.
dialogue
You?
heavy scenes.
yeah.
Good. Okay. Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the stress level during production? 1 to 10.
During production, I would say between 5 and 11. Before production, I think it was a constant 7.
Okay. 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 You, Max?
8,
8.
just
Yeah.
because of the time pressure.
Yeah,
Hmm. Yeah. Got it. Got it. Who's the peacemaker when disagreements arise on set?
I think both of us at different
Complete
times.
silence.
I think both of us at different times.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
the
Okay,
things
I
that
get it now. That's what I can get.
it's
Yeah,
both of us at
yeah.
different times.
People can.
It was like I was upset several times during the making of this film,
Mm-hmm.
at various stuff, and also Max was upset at several times, but it was never the same time. So when I was upset, Max was
Yeah.
fine. He took care of
Mm-hmm.
things. And then when
Mm-hmm.
Max was
Yeah, I
occasionally
get it.
upset,
I get it.
I took care of things. So we
Got,
were never upset at the same thing, which is good.
got. Okay, I get it, Max. The silence is complete answer.
Yeah,
Uh,
same. There was no big,
yeah,
not
yeah.
much drama on set.
No,
Mm,
no, it went very well.
okay.
It was we often say it was kind of like doing a school trip and then making a film
Uh-huh.
while you're doing it.
Oh, that's good energy.
Because everyone lived together, and so we
Mm,
spent time after shooting and before, and had coffee and lunch and dinner
yeah,
together most
yeah.
days.
Because we all lived in that house we were shooting in, for the most
Yes,
Mm.
part.
we all lived in the murder house.
Okay, wow. Now, night shoots or day shoots?
Night shoots.
Okay, you,
Day
Max?
shoots.
Day
Day
shoots.
shoots.
Favorite scene in the movie?
Ooh. Uh, I really like the first time Mia gets grabbed by the throat
Mm-hmm.
and put in the kitchen right in the beginning of the film. I
Okay,
thought that was quite a tense scene, and we shot it quite well, I think.
okay.
The
Well,
beige scene.
what? I didn't
Fucking
heard.
beige.
The beige scene where it goes fucking beige.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when
yeah. I
Cody's
remember that.
talking to
I
Uncle Ben
remember that.
about his beige
Okay.
jumper.
Okay. Wow. Wow. Got it.
Watch
Now,
the night when I was on Prime.
the one prop you wish you could keep.
Ooh. I kept the prop that I wished I could keep. The gun from the bad guys. I have it somewhere around here.
Okay. The Cody. I guess Cody had that gun.
Cody had the big gun. I have the
Yeah. Okay.
smaller, more elegant
Smaller
gun.
one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Max.
I have Uncle Ben's beige cardigan, but I would like to have Cody's gun.
Oh, okay.
I think Tim
But
has
you
Cody's
like
gun, right?
uh,
I think so. I don't know.
okay. Well, uh, most challenging scene to film.
Ooh, most challenging scene. I don't know. There was one where a certain character is dying at the
Mm-hmm.
end of the film. I don't want to reveal who it is, but
Okay.
we that have seen the film know who is dying at the end of the film.
Yeah.
And his scene was very challenging because we had to shoot it in 2 separate days. It was the only scene that we shot in 2 separate days, because we didn't have a certain actor for that scene. But we needed to get some pickups, and we had to make it look like it was just shot on the same day,
Okay.
which was a bit tricky. But yeah, other than that,
Got
I
it.
think everything was quite straightforward.
Got it. Got it. Got it. You, Max.
I would say the big chaos scene just because of the blood involved.
Yeah. And we have to clean it every time.
Oh yeah, got it. The biggest risk that you guys took in making Thieves in the Night?
Ooh, the biggest risk. I mean, making it was just doing it because it made such a big difference to our lives.
Okay.
And how much
You
of
won awards. You won awards, like
we
one
won
or two, I guess.
awards. We
Yeah.
can win more awards. I would like more
Mhm.
awards,
Yeah.
if anything. But the thing is, it was a big risk for us because a well, we can't you can't do anything else for money in that month,
Mm.
and it's a
Yeah.
month, so like no job is just
Yeah.
going to give you a month off. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
And personally, yeah. So the risk was just doing this, just going to the Isle of
Got it.
Wight
I
and
understand the money part. That's where
and just
you
and
you
just
can't do
trying your
anything
best.
for money. Yeah. Got it. You, Max, go on.
That we're not able to finish it, that we're running out of time, and we only have one go at this film. If we fuck it up, then it's
It's gone.
done.
Yeah.
So we don't get a second chances. And this was our first feature film, so we
Mm.
didn't know does our schedule work out. So yeah,
Yeah, were we too ambitious?
Limited time.
Did we expect too much? Did we,
Yeah.
all these things? Because Max is right. We only had one shot of making.
One.
You can
Yeah.
only make your first film once, right?
Yeah.
And if it's really bad, it doesn't make it easier for you to make your next one.
Yeah. That's true.
It's as hard as it is to make a film. It's even harder if you've already made a really bad one.
Yeah.
So we didn't
The
want to be.
energy, the motivation is gone.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
also because as we said in the beginning, investors, they don't like risk.
Yeah.
So if you've already made a bad movie, then they're not likely
Yeah.
to give you their money to make
Yeah.
another bad movie. So the first one, there's a lot riding on it,
Yeah.
and but it's helped obviously all of us since to continue making projects and whatnot. But making the first one is the hardest. The first one is the hardest.
Yeah.
So my advice to people is make sure it's something that you can film. Don't write aliens and zombies if you can't afford them.
yeah. And I was telling people
Well,
for years now I'm gonna make a movie for years, and then if I make one and it sucks or it not even get finished, then it would be quite
yeah.
embarrassing.
Yeah, yeah.
Got
Public
it.
embarrassment. It's a big factor of how not to fail.
Got it. Got it.
But I
So,
do think
one.
everyone what you're doing because they will keep you motivated. You know.
Mhm. Got it. Got it. Now, here's the thing. This is the last part of. Thank you, first of all, for answering all the question in very proper way, in real way, and telling all your struggles through these questions that you faced while making this film.
Mhm.
I guess I can continue this format. It's working really well. This is
Good.
first time I tried it. First, now for a kid who's just starting out, who's 2021, I guess 26, directing, maybe it's 30, uh,
Mhm.
someone amateur in a way, starting out, like it's his first month or first year, who's looking to jump into this field and who's doing some kind of work or job while actually dreaming of making it, just like someone in
Mhm.
bank who's looking to do something well while writing a screenplay of some karate scene, kung fu scene, and someone like you who knows what he's doing but is selling something, and he think like, okay, it's not possible, so I think this is what I am and this is what I'm going to do, and that's me now. But then takes a call that, hey, I think I need to do this now, and I'm done with this. I'm not going to sell anymore, I'm not going to teach anymore. Teaching is good, but I try to manage it, but now I think that this is the way, this is the time now, I will leave it. I can't do two things at one time. So, for someone who's kind of you or who's looking to be in this field, what advice you'd like to give to that guy or girl, one
Um,
by one?
so I would say prepare yourself.
Mhm.
Prepare yourself. The and then take the plunge. So like prepare yourself as much as you can, and then jump because there's two things that happen here. Either you try but you don't know enough, and you're too busy figuring things out where you should be busy organizing stuff when you get to
Okay.
film school. So let's say you get to film school, but you haven't done the research, you haven't gone on all of the YouTube tutorials. You haven't gone to masterclass.com and watched all of the amazing masterclasses. By the way, me and Max did that. We watched all the directing and all the acting,
Wow. Wow.
directing
That's good. That's good.
on that. Point is, you should do all of that, and then once
Mm-hmm.
you've done all that, once you know you can pick up any camera and
Mm-hmm.
achieve the look that you want, once you know what to say to an actor, once you know everything beyond having done it, then go to film school. And then,
Okay.
because then you have the confidence, you
Yeah.
have all that stuff behind you. So you haven't got the question of, oh, am I going to figure it out? Am I going to be good at this? You should try
Mm-hmm.
it as well. You should make a couple of little terrible, terrible films, because you're going to learn so much from making
Yeah.
terrible, terrible films. And yeah, so learn, and then jump, and
That
practice. I don't know.
that's your correct. Max?
I would say fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it.
Um,
Wow.
Fake it till you make it works. Once you have a script ready to shoot, set a shooting date and don't wait for everything being perfect. Just do it. And I was told you have to make a lot of music videos, a lot of short films, and work your way up to start directing. And that says who? We made 2, 3 short films to learn the mistakes, and then we made a film.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
just do it.
Just do
just
it.
do it. Just do it. I guess this kind of learn. What I got from you, Ted, is where you actually structured. Okay, this is what I want, and okay, now I need to divide this into step by step process. I can't just go in and think like, okay, I'm going to win one day. You need to chop it out into pieces. First of all, watch the YouTube, watch how what people are saying, the interviews and all, the masterclass specifically. Join that. Once you're clear with the idea and the thought, there's a lot of confidence that people can build up inside them. And I guess that's what helped you a lot. You then do a calculative thing that with your scripts and all. Okay, this is what I'm going to get with this, and where I'm going to reach with this kind of steps. So you can calculate that. Any kid can do this. There's the one thing that you told. Any kid can do this if he can calculate these steps and divide it, and then distribute his energy throughout these phases, and he can reach a position where he is really where he can become really good at that. And Max, I guess that the risk that you told, like, hey, just do it, just get it out of you. You have to make it. There's no other thing left now. You've got to do it. And that what we can say, that call, that jump that you have to push. Nobody else is going to push you. You have to push yourself. Is one thing, any aspiring writer director should go for it, who's looking for it. But now you have to push yourself if you're really looking for it, and then you have to calculate it properly. um, this was really great interviewing you guys, and this is really new format for me. I don't know how I'm moving forward with this, but I guess I'll try to get some guys like you, telling their stories and telling how they got into this field, and how they shot this film. I guess I'm going to title this as how I made this film. uh, and then title it as Thieves in the Night. But this is a format, I guess I'd like to interview more directors. This was great thing knowing you guys. You are talking to me from England, you are talking to me from Austria, and I'm here sitting, getting to know all that the struggles that you guys faced, and what kind of wins that you had, and how you came here in 2024 with a good amount of work, and how you guys started leaving job, and then leaving a bank job, teacher, selling something. Everyone has this kind of backgrounds, but they are not aware of, okay, it's not me, it's everyone. Now this is one thing that should be very common with, like, everyone has different stories, but how you make it happen is your story. Now that's what's going to make a difference here. So if anyone who got a good amount of learning from these guys, make sure you go and check their Instagram, follow, make sure you watch their films. I'm going to link everything in the description, so you can check out their IMDb, their short films. I guess you can just send me the links, and I'm going to link that all down. And yeah, that's it. And you can connect with them if anything related to casting, if anything is there. I'm going to make sure that the mail is mentioned below. So if you are an actor, actress, or aspiring ones, you would like to join the team, I'm going to link all that below, so people can just call you, contact you, and look for any work that you guys are offering or having, and then they can connect. So yeah, it's helpful and it's kind of collaborative. So if these guys need you, then you can go and get it.
Yeah.
So yes, I guess that's it. It was, I guess, 1 hour 40 minutes now. I
Yeah.
had no idea we'll go this long, but we did it. So thank you very much, Ted.
No, thank
Thank
you,
you,
AJ.
man.
That was
Thank
really fun.
you.
Okay, great. Hey, everyone. I guess this is the part that we end the podcast. Now, I am Ajay Tambe, the host and producer of creativeaudios.in podcast, and now I'm signing off.
And off we sign.